My mother-in-law humiliated me at my own wedding. You are just a stray cat my son picked up. But when I stood up and raised my glass, her smirk vanished instantly. I stand at the edge of my own wedding reception, watching my new mother-in-law tap her crystal champagne glass. The sound pierces through the murmur of conversation, and my stomach knots. Something in Vivian's eyes makes me want to grab Ryan's hand and run. My name is Arya, and this should be the happiest day of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, Vivian's voice carries across the garden with practiced elegance. I'd like to propose a toast to the interesting couple before us today. She pauses, her smile sharp as a blade. When Ryan first brought Arya home, I must admit I was surprised. After all, we had such different expectations for him. The crowd shifts uncomfortably. Ryan's hand tightens around mine, but he says nothing. Always says nothing when it comes to his mother. But here we are, Vivian continues, her gaze fixed on me. Ryan, darling, you've always had a charitable heart, taking in strays, helping the less fortunate. Remember that mangy cat you insisted on keeping when you were 12? She laughs and a few nervous chuckles follow. I suppose some habits never change. My cheeks burn. The pearl necklace Ryan gave me this morning feels like it's choking me. I catch my sister Sophie's eye across the room. She's half rising from her chair, fury written across her face. To the happy couple, Vivian raises her glass. May Ryan's generosity continue to lift up those who weren't blessed with the advantages he's enjoyed. And Arya dear, she turns that razor smile on me again. Do try to remember where you came from and where you are now. The silence that follows is deafening. My father Thomas is gripping his chair so hard his knuckles have gone white. My mother Linda has tears in her eyes, not the happy ones she had during the ceremony. Ryan finally speaks. Mother, that's enough. But his voice is weak, uncertain. Oh darling, I'm only teasing. Vivian waves him off. Surely Arya can take a joke. After all, she'll need a thick skin to survive in our world, won't she? I feel the eyes of 200 guests burning into me. The country club members, the business associates, Ryan's extended family, all watching to see how the girl from the wrong side of town will react to being publicly gutted. Actually, I hear myself say, standing up. My voice is steady, surprising even me. I'd like to thank Vivian for that illuminating toast. I raise my own glass. You've made things very clear. Vivian's smile falters for just a moment. She wasn't expecting me to speak. To new beginnings I continue, and to finally understanding exactly where I stand. I drain my champagne in one go, setting the glass down with perhaps more force than necessary. The rest of the reception passes in a blur of forced smiles and whispered conversations that stop when I walk by. Ryan keeps apologizing, but his words feel hollow. He doesn't understand that his silence during his mother's speech said more than any apology could. Later, as we're leaving for our honeymoon, I catch Vivian speaking to Derek, her business partner. It's nothing personal, she's saying, but someone had to put her in her place before she got too comfortable. I slip into the car, my wedding dress rustling against the leather seats. Ryan starts the engine, already launching into another apology about his mother's behavior, but I'm not listening. Instead, I'm thinking about the look in Vivian's eyes during that toast, that mix of contempt and satisfaction. She thinks she's won, thinks she's shown everyone exactly who I am and where I belong. But she's wrong. That toast didn't break me. It awakened something. As we drive away from the reception, I'm already planning. Vivian wanted to show everyone who I am. Fine. I'll show her exactly who I can become. This isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning of hers. The honeymoon glow lasted exactly 3 weeks. That's when the first oversight happened. My name mysteriously missing from the guest list at the Hamilton family's annual charity gala. It must have been a clerical error, Ryan says, adjusting his bow tie in our bedroom mirror. Mother's assistant is new. I watch him from the bed, still in my bathrobe, like the clerical error that left me off the country club membership application, or the one that forgot to include me in the family portrait session. He doesn't meet my eyes in the reflection. I'll talk to her about it, don't bother. I stand up, letting my wedding ring catch the light. We both know Vivian's assistant doesn't make mistakes. The door closes behind him with a soft click. Through the window I watch him pull out of our driveway in his Mercedes, a wedding gift from his mother. Another reminder of where I stand in the hierarchy of Vivian's world. My phone buzzes. It's Sophie. Mom and Dad want you over for dinner tonight. At my parents' modest house the tension is thick enough to cut. Dad's pacing the kitchen while Mom serves her signature lasagna, comfort food for uncomfortable conversations. She's isolating you, Dad says, his fork stabbing the pasta. First the wedding toast, now this. It's a pattern, Arya. Thomas, Mom warns, but her eyes are worried. What? We're all thinking it. That woman's trying to push our daughter out of her son's life piece by piece. I push my food around the plate. Ryan says he'll handle it. Sophie snorts like he handled the toast or the country club thing. She leans forward. You know what Derek told me at the coffee shop yesterday? I look up. You talked to Derek. He didn't know who I was, but he was meeting someone, talking about how Vivian's planning to protect the family interest by having Ryan sign some new trust agreement. Something about limiting spouse access. The lasagna turns to ash in my mouth. Dad's face darkens, but before he can speak, my phone chimes. It's a group text from Vivian to the family. Reminder, Margaret's 75th birthday dinner this Saturday. Black tie, private room at LeBlanc, family only. A second later, another message. Ryan darling, please come early to help with arrangements. No mention of me, not even a pretense this time. That's it. Sophie stands up. You need to fight back. And do what? I push my plate away. Throw a fit? Prove her right about the classless girl who married above her station? No. Sophie's eyes gleam. You need to beat her at her own game. You're smart, Arya. Smarter than she thinks. Use that. Later that night, I return home to find Ryan in his study. Papers spread across his desk. He looks up, guilty. Hey, I was just going through some family business stuff. I lean against the door frame. The new trust agreement. He freezes. How did you? Does it matter? I walk over, picking up one of the documents. Were you going to tell me before or after you signed away my access to our shared future? It's not like that, he starts, but I cut him off. Then what is it like, Ryan? Explain it to me. Explain how your mother's systematic campaign to erase me from your life is not like that. He stands, runs a hand through his hair. You don't understand the pressure she's under. The family name, the business. You're right, I say quietly. I don't understand. Business. You're right, I say quietly. I don't understand. I don't understand how my husband can watch his mother destroy his marriage and do nothing. I turn to leave, but his voice stops me. Where are you going? To get ready for Margaret's birthday dinner. But Mother said, I know what she said. I look back at him, and I'm done listening. In our bedroom, I open my laptop and start searching. Vivian thinks she can write me out of this family story. Fine. But two can play at that game. Sophie's right. I'm smarter than Vivian thinks, and if she wants to protect family interests so badly, maybe it's time I took a closer look at exactly what those interests are. Starting with why Derek's been making monthly visits to offshore banks. Margaret's birthday dinner becomes a battlefield. The moment I walk into LeBlanc, Vivian's fez freezes mid-laugh, her champagne glass suspended in the air. The private dining room falls silent. Darling, she recovers quickly. I believe there's been a misunderstanding about the guest list. I smile, channeling her own razor-sharp sweetness. No misunderstanding. I'm exactly where I should be. Margaret rises from her seat, her arthritis-twisted hands gripping her walker. Vivian, stop this nonsense. Arya is family now. Something flickers across Vivian's face. Pain, maybe fear. It's gone before I can be sure. Ryan pulls out my chair, but his hands are shaking. The tension crackling through the room makes the crystal chandelier seem ready to shatter. Actually, Margaret continues, settling back into her seat. This reminds me of another family dinner years ago. When you first brought Charles home, Vivian. Vivian's knuckles whiten around her glass. Mother, please. Your father's family treated you horribly, Margaret says, her voice carrying despite its age. Called you a gold digger, said you weren't good enough, remember? The revelation hits me like a physical blow. I look at Vivian, really look at her, and for a moment I see something else behind the perfect makeup and designer dress. A shadow of another woman who once sat where I'm sitting. That was different, Vivian snaps. Was it? Margaret's eyes are sharp. You worked as a waitress. Charles came from old money. His mother tried everything to drive you away. Derek clears his throat uncomfortably. Perhaps this isn't the time. It's exactly the time. Margaret cuts him off. Because I watched my daughter transform herself into exactly the kind of woman who once tried to destroy her. The waiter arrives with the first course, his professional smile faltering at the tension. Nobody touches their plates. I protected this family, Vivian says quietly, dangerously. Everything I've done, every sacrifice. Like the sacrifice of sending Charles's family those photos. Margaret's words land like bombs, the ones that ruined his father's political career. Ryan's head snaps up. What photos? Ancient history. Vivian stands abruptly and completely irrelevant. But I see it now, the blueprint of her successdatum, her success, the foundation of her power. She didn't just marry into this world, she conquered it, destroyed those who stood in her way. You're right, Mother. Vivian's voice has gone cold. I learned from the best, from those who tried to destroy me, and I learned well. She turns to me. So believe me when I say you have no idea what you're dealing with. Actually, I pull out my phone, opening the offshore banking records I discovered. I think I do. The color drains from Derek's face. Vivian goes very still. Monthly transfers to the Cayman Islands. I continue. Strange patterns in the company's charitable donations. It's amazing what you can find when people think you're too stupid to look. You're making dangerous accusations, Derek warns. No. I correct him. I'm making observations. The accusations will come from the IRS if these records end up on their desk. Ryan stands up looking lost. What's going on, Mother? Nothing, Vivian says sharply. Your wife is trying to cause trouble, like always. Like you caused trouble for Charles's family? I press. Is that why he left? Because he discovered what you really are. The slap echoes through the room. My cheek burns where Vivian's hand connected, but I don't flinch. Mother, Ryan shouts, finally finding his voice. Margaret's quiet voice cuts through the chaos. You've become everything you once hated, Vivian. Vivian grabs her purse, her perfect composure cracking. This dinner is over. Derek, my office. First thing tomorrow. She pauses at the door, looking back at me. You want to play this game? Fine. But remember, I've been playing it longer. After she leaves, Ryan turns to me, his face a storm of confusion and anger. What have you done? What you wouldn't? I answer. I fought back. Margaret reaches across the table, her wrinkled hand covering mine. Be careful, dear. Revenge has a way of changing people. I should know. I watched it change my daughter. I looked down at the banking records on my phone, then at the door where Vivian disappeared. The woman who crawled her way up from nothing, who destroyed her enemies, who became the very monster she once fought. Is that what I'm becoming too? The suitcase lies open on our bed, half packed with whatever I could grab in 10 minutes. Ryan stands in the doorway, his face a mask I no longer recognize. So that's it? His voice is flat. You're running away? I fold another shirt, focusing on the crisp edges. Running implies fear. I'm choosing to leave. Because of what happened at grandmother's dinner, mother apologized. No, I correct him. She sent a formal note through her secretary expressing regret for any perceived impropriety. That's not an apology. That's damage control. The bedroom feels smaller than usual, like the walls are closing in. Through the window I can see Vivian's car pulling up our driveway. Right on schedule. She's here to explain everything, Ryan says. About the offshore accounts, about Charles. Like she explained about the trust agreement you were going to sign. I zip the suitcase closed. Or about how she's been systematically pushing me out of your life. A knock downstairs. Ryan doesn't move to answer it. You're becoming just like her, he says quietly. The words hit harder than Vivian's slap ever did. I turn to face him fully. What? The investigating, the threats, the ultimatums. You're fighting her by becoming her. Before I can respond, Sophie appears in the doorway, slightly out of breath. Don't go anywhere. You need to see this. She pulls out her phone, pulling up an email. Remember how I said I'd look into Charles? Well, I found something. Something big. The document on her screen is old but clear enough. A newspaper article from 25 years ago. The headline reads, "Local business owner dies in suspicious car accident." That's Charles's father, Ryan says, moving closer. Read the date, Sophie urges. I do, then I read it again. This was 3 days after those photos Margaret mentioned, the ones that ruined his political career. Keep reading. The article mentions brake failure, a steep road, no witnesses, and at the bottom, a quote from the grieving family's spokesperson, Vivian Hamilton. She didn't just destroy his career, I whisper. We don't know that. That, Ryan interrupts, but his voice shakes. Another knock downstairs, more insistent this time. There's more. Sophie scrolls down. Guess who else died in a car accident with suspicious circumstances? The investigator who was looking into the campaign finance irregularities that those photos exposed. The room spins slightly. I sit on the edge of the bed, my packed suitcase forgotten. Aria? Vivian's voice carries up the stairs. We need to talk about this situation like adults. Ryan moves toward the door, but I grab his arm. Don't, please. He looks down at my hand, then at the article still displayed on Sophie's phone. For the first time I see real fear in his eyes. What do you want me to do? He asks. Choose, I say simply. For once in your life, choose. Footsteps on the stairs. Sophie positions herself between me and the door. I can't just, Ryan starts. Yes, you can. Because if you don't, I'm walking out that door. And unlike Charles, I'll make sure I'm not alone on any steep roads. The footsteps reach our floor. Ryan looks at the door, then back at me. In that moment, I see every choice we've ever made, every compromise, every silence. And I realize this isn't just about saving my marriage anymore. It's about survival. Ryan? Vivian's voice is closer now. Darling, is she up here with you, Shay? He takes a deep breath, and I watch my husband choose. No, mother, he calls out, his voice steady for the first time in weeks. She's not, and neither am I. He grabs my suitcase with one hand, my arm with the other. Sophie, is your car out back? She nods, a slow smile spreading across her face. Then let's go, he says, all of us. As we slip out the back door, I hear Vivian calling our names. But for once, she's not the one in control. For once, we're writing our own story. And this time, I'm not running away. I'm running towards something much more dangerous. The truth. The motel room feels like a war room with papers spread across every surface. Sophie types furiously on her laptop while Ryan paces, phone pressed to his ear. I'm staring at a photograph I found in Margaret's old albums. Vivian and Charles on their wedding day. Looking young and in love, before everything went wrong. Derek's not answering. Ryan hangs up. But his secretary said he cleared his schedule for the next week. Emergency meetings with the board. Sophie looks up. They're moving money fast. I've tracked 3 large transfers to different offshore accounts in the last hour. They know we know. I still studying the photograph. There's something in Vivian's eyes. Even then, a hunger. My phone buzzes. A text from Margaret. Vivian's here, asking questions. Be careful. Another buzz, this time from an unknown number. Meet me at the old Hamilton factory, midnight. Come alone if you want the whole story. D. Ryan reads over my shoulder. It's a trap, obviously. Sophie agrees. Derek's Vivian's puppet, always has been. I set down the wedding photo. Maybe that's exactly why we should go. They both stare at me. We? Ryan asks. You and me. Sophie stays here, keeps tracking the money. If something goes wrong, I trail off, not wanting to finish the thought. If something goes wrong, I call Dad. Sophie completes it for me. He's got friends in the DA's office. They're already interested in those offshore accounts. Ryan grabs his keys. We should leave now. Scout the location before a knock at the door freezes us all. Through the thin curtains we can see a familiar silhouette. Aria. Vivian's voice is honey sweet. Darling, I know you're in there. Let's talk about this like family. Sophie quietly closes her laptop. Ryan moves toward the bathroom window, our planned escape route. I brought something you might want to see, Vivian continues, about your father's construction company. Did you know he bid on Hamilton Properties contracts 3 years ago? Before you met Ryan, my blood runs cold. Dad never mentioned this. Such a shame about those anonymous complaints that killed the bid. Cost him nearly everything, didn't it? Would be terrible if history repeated itself. Ryan grabs my arm as I move toward the door. Don't, he whispers, but I'm already putting pieces together. The timing of Dad's near bankruptcy, the mysterious lost contracts, how convenient it was that Ryan met me just when my family was most vulnerable. 5 minutes, I say to Vivian through the door alone. Aria, no, Sophie starts. I turn to them both. Get to the factory. I'll meet you there. And if I don't, I hand Sophie the wedding photograph. Look at her eyes. Really look. Then check the dates of every suspicious death around her, not just Charles's father. The bathroom window slides open silently. As they slip out, I count to 10, then open the door. Vivian stands there, elegant as ever, holding a thick folder. Smart girl, she says, finally learning to negotiate. Show me. She hands over the folder. Inside, I find documents proving everything. How she orchestrated my father's financial ruin, how she positioned Ryan to meet me, how she planned it all years ago. Why? I ask, though I already suspect the answer. Because I needed to know, she says simply. If you were strong enough, if you could survive what I survived, what I had to become, you destroyed my family to test me. She smiles, and I see that hunger from the wedding photo. Stronger now. I made you stronger, like Charles's family made me stronger. The weak don't survive in this world, Arya. I needed to know if my son's wife could survive. I think of the offshore accounts, the suspicious deaths, the years of manipulation. And if I fail your test? Oh, darling. She reaches out to touch my cheek. I force myself not to flinch. You already have. The question now is, what are you willing to do about it? I step back, clutching the folder. I guess you'll find out at midnight. Her smile widens. So Derek reached out. Good. Remember what I said about survival, Arya? Only one of us can. As she walks away, I look down at the folder in my hands. The evidence I needed, handed over freely. Too freely. That's when I realize this isn't just about survival anymore. It's about who's really being tested, and who's really doing the testing. The old Hamilton factory looms against the midnight sky. A steel and concrete tomb holding who knows how many secrets. Ryan's hand finds mine in the darkness. We don't have to do this, but we do. Because somewhere in that building, Derek is waiting with answers about Charles, about Vivian, about all the convenient accidents that paved her way to power. The side door creaks open at our touch. Inside, emergency lights cast sickly green shadows across abandoned machinery. Our footsteps echo on metal catwalks. Derek, Ryan calls out. A figure emerges from the shadows, but it's not Derek. It's Margaret, leaning heavily on her walker. Grandmother Ryan steps forward. What are you? I'm sorry, she whispers. She made me choose. More shadows move. Security guards materialize from every corner. And there's Vivian, elegant even here. Derek at her shoulder, like a well-trained dog. Family. Vivian's voice that carries across the factory floor. Such a complicated thing, isn't it? I grip the folder of evidence she gave me earlier. Where's Sophie? Safe for now. Vivian descends the metal stairs, each click of her heels like a gunshot. Though that depends entirely on you. Ryan moves to shield me, but two guards grab his arms. Mother, stop this. Oh, darling, she sighs. I'm trying to save you from becoming your father, from choosing weakness over strength. She turns to me. Show them the folder, Arya. My hands shake as I open it, but the documents inside aren't what she gave me earlier. These are different. Photographs of my father accepting bribes, falsifying contracts, laundering money through his construction company. No, I shake my head. These are fake. Are they? Derek speaks up. Or did you just never want to see the truth? About your father, about Ryan, about yourself. What's he talking about? Ryan demands. Vivian produces another folder. Your father didn't just bid on Hamilton contracts, Arya. He helped me destroy his competitors, helped me cover up Charles's father's accident, all to protect his own interests. She smiles. Like father, like daughter. You're lying. Am I? Ask him yourself. The factory door opens again. My father walks in looking older than I've ever seen him. Dad? He won't meet my eyes. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I did what I had to do to protect us, to protect you. And now, Vivian continues, you'll do what you have to do to protect everyone. She hands me a USB drive, all the evidence of your father's crimes and Ryan's involvement. Yes, darling, she tells her son. Those contracts you signed last year, not quite as clean as you thought. The pieces fall into place. The arranged marriage, the tests, the manipulation. We were never players in this game. We were pieces being moved across Vivian's board. What do you want? My voice sounds hollow. Sign over your shares in the company. Admit to orchestrating the offshore accounts. Take the fall. She steps closer or watch everything you love burn. Don't. Ryan struggles against the guards. Arya, don't. Tick-tock. Derek checks his watch. Sophie's waiting. And those photos of her with the corporate accounts, very convincing. I look at my father, broken by his own choices. At Margaret, forced to betray her grandson. At Ryan, finally seeing the true cost of his family's legacy. If I do this, I say slowly, everyone else walks away clean, you have my word. Vivian offers a pen and papers. Your word? I laugh and it sounds like breaking glass. Like Charles had your word. Like his father had your word. Charles was weak, she snaps. Like you're being weak now. Sometimes survival means sacrifice. I take the pen, feel its weight, think about Sophie, about Ryan, about all the lives Vivian has destroyed in the name of survival. You're right, I say. Sometimes it does. I sign the papers, watch Vivian's triumphant smile, watch my father's shoulders slump in relief, and then I pull out my phone, press play on the recording of everything that just happened, and watch that smile fade. You're not the only one who knows about sacrifice, I tell her. But before anyone can move, a shot rings out. Pain explodes in my shoulder. Through blurring vision I see Derek lowering a gun. See Ryan breaking free. See Vivian's foul transform from shock to something like respect as darkness closes in. I hear her whisper, "Now we'll see who really survives." The hospital monitors beep steadily as I open my eyes. Ryan's asleep in the chair beside me, but Sophie stands at the window, phone pressed to her ear. "They're moving the board meeting up," she whispers. "Tomorrow morning, they're going to vote on the merger before anyone can stop them." I try to sit up, wincing at the pain in my shoulder. "Where's the recording?" "Safe." But Vivian's claiming it was taken under duress, and with Dad's involvement, she trails off. The door opens. Vivian walks in, immaculate as ever. Behind her, Margaret wheels herself into the room, her walker replaced by a wheelchair I've never seen before. "Everyone out," Vivian commands, except Arya. Ryan stirs. "I'm not leaving." "Yes, you are." Margaret cuts in. "Beacon, both of you. This ends now." After they leave, Vivian sits on the edge of my bed, studies me like a specimen under glass. "You know what happened to Charles?" she asks quietly. "You killed him." "No." She pulls out an old photograph. "He killed himself after he discovered what his father had done. The embezzlement, the fraud, the lives destroyed. His precious moral code couldn't handle the truth about his family's legacy, so you covered it up. I protected what was mine." Her fingers trace the photograph's edge, like you tried to protect your recording, but there's something you should know about survival area. It's not about who's strongest. The door opens again. Derek enters, but something's different. He's not carrying himself like Vivian's loyal servant anymore. "Show her," Vivian commands. Derek hands me a file. Inside are documents spanning decades, all bearing Margaret's signature, property transfers, bank accounts, death certificates. I don't understand. I start. "My mother," Vivian's voice turns bitter, "taught me everything I know about his survival. About power, she orchestrated Charles's father's accident, arranged my marriage, shaped me into what she needed me to be." She looks at Margaret's wheelchair outside the door, and now she's doing it again. The truth hits like another bullet. She's been playing us all. For years, Derek confirms, I've been reporting to her, not Vivian. Everything, the toast, the exclusion, the contracts, all designed to test both of you. But why? Because power without purpose is meaningless. Margaret wheels herself back in, and family without strength is doomed to fall. She looks at Vivian. "I had to know if either of you were worthy of the legacy, if you could do what needs to be done. And now I ask, now we know." Margaret produces a gun, the same one Derek used. "One of you walks out of here with everything. The company, the truth, the future." She places it on my bed. "Choose." Vivian doesn't move, doesn't reach for the gun. Just watches me with those hungry eyes. And suddenly I understand, this isn't about survival, it's about breaking the cycle. I pick up the gun, point it at Margaret. "You're right. Family without strength is doomed." I turn it toward Vivian. "But strength without mercy is just another kind of weakness." Then I press play on my phone, not on the factory recording, but on the conversation we just had, the full confession. "Sophie's not the only one who knows how to hack phones," I say as Margaret's face darkens. "The board already has this, along with proof of every manipulation, every crime, every test." "It's over. You fool," Margaret snarls. "You've destroyed everything." "No." Vivian stands slowly. "She saved us from becoming you." She takes the gun from my hand, places it out of reach from destroying ourselves. Security arrives minutes later. As they lead Margaret away, she calls back, "You'll regret this, both of you. Some things are worth any price." "She's right," Vivian says after they're gone. About the price, she looks at me with something like respect. "Welcome to the family, Arya, the real one." I think of all the pain, all the manipulation, all the lives broken in the name of legacy and power. What happens now? Now, she smiles, but it's different. Tired, real. Now we learn how to survive without destroying each other. As she leaves, I notice she's left the old photograph behind. But now I see what I missed before. It wasn't hunger in her eyes back then. It was fear. The same fear I see in my own reflection now. The Hamilton estate sale draws a smaller crowd than expected. I watch from the second-floor window, as strangers pick through generations of carefully curated power, reduced now to price tags and lot numbers. Vivian appears beside me, her reflection ghosting against the glass. Margaret's lawyer called. She's refusing visitors. Good. We stand in silence, watching an elderly couple examine a crystal vase, the one Vivian used for her wedding toast at my reception. The memory feels like it belongs to someone else. "I found this in Charles' old study." Vivian hands me a leather-bound journal. "You should read it. The pages smell of dust and secrets." Charles's handwriting fills each page with observation about his family's corruption, his growing horror at discovering the truth. The last entry is dated 3 days before his death. He was going to expose everything, I realize. Not just his father's crimes, but the whole system. And now you have. Vivian's voice carries no accusation, just tired acceptance. "The board voted this morning. The company is being dissolved. Assets redistributed. Footsteps on the stairs. Ryan and Sophie carrying boxes." My sister's eyes are red-rimmed, but her voice is steady. "Dad's paperwork is all sorted. The DA's office is offering a deal. Take it," I tell her. "All of it ends here." Ryan sets down his box, pulls out an old photograph album. "Look what I found. The images tell a story I never saw before. Vivian as a young mother teaching Ryan to walk. Margaret watching from the background, always watching. The slow transformation of a family into a fortress. "We're selling the house," Vivian announces suddenly. "All of it, starting fresh." "Where will you go?" I ask. She smiles, and for the first time it reaches her eyes. "There's a small town in Oregon. Charles talked about retiring there before everything. The elderly couple buys the vase. As they carry it out, sunlight catches the crystal, sending rainbow fragments dancing across the walls. I've been thinking about what Margaret said, I say quietly, about survival, about strength. And I think real strength is knowing when to let go. Ryan takes my hand. Outside, the last of the estate sale crowd is dispersing. Soon this house will be empty. Its walls no longer echoing with decades of manipulation and fear. There's something else you should know, Vivian says, about your father's company. The contracts weren't all Margaret's doing. Some of them, I chose those targets myself, including your father. The admission should hurt more than it does. But looking at her now, I see something I never expected: remorse. Why tell me this? Because survival isn't just about living through something, she says. It's about what you become while surviving. Sophie appears with more boxes but stops short, sensing the moment. The four of us stand there, surrounded by the dismantled pieces of a dynasty built on fear and control. I found this too. Ryan pulls something from his pocket. My pearl necklace from our wedding day. Thought you might want it back. I take it, feel its weight. Then I walk to the window, open it, and let the pearls fall. They scatter across the driveway like drops of rain. Mother would call that wasteful, Vivian observes. No, I correct her. She'd call it weak, but she was wrong about a lot of things. Later, as the sun sets on the empty house, I find Charles' journal again. There's a line underlined near the end. The greatest victory isn't in destroying your enemies but in refusing to become them. I leave the journal on Margaret's old desk. Let the next owners find it or not. Some stories need to end for others to begin. As we lock up for the last time, Vivian pauses on the porch. You know she'll never stop, even from prison. Margaret will try to rebuild. Let her try, I say. We have something stronger than her kind of power now. What's that? I look at Ryan, at Sophie, at the woman who was my enemy and is now something else, something complicated and real. The truth, I answer, and each other. We walk away from the Hamilton estate together, leaving behind empty rooms filled with echoes of vengeance. Some of them might follow us, some might even catch up one day, but that's tomorrow's survival.